Hi all, I'm restarting my investigative selfism project. It's 6th season, only now in a video format, and I realized that I'm starting it and it's going to be something resembling an end-of-year message. And that message will come, as it often does, in a shape of some questions. And as an intro, I will say, so I wrote this article recently for the same project, investigative selfism, and one thing came to mind was, oh my goodness, I had forgotten how much I like to write. Just sit down and write. And I rekindled that and how great it felt. So if there is an encouragement is not to forget, right? If there's some activity that you really love and something that's actually accessible, right? It's easy to do. Like you don't need much of an infrastructure. Maybe there is an activity like that you like. So let's do more of that, right? That's like an intro comment. But in that article, I was talking how a very simple situation recently provoked this like deeper reflection. That's kind of always on my mind, but it was an opportunity to phrase it in a way that was, I thought, even more accessible to me. And the situation was very simple. I was in this really beautiful forest area in the north of Colombia. And it wasn't mosquitoes. It was the highest biodiversity in the world. So probably some bugs that I don't know about. Anyways, and it was like bug bites, and me and my whole family were like, oh my goodness, this is intense. And there were days, nights spent just like scratching, then trying like not to scratch, and like scratching it again, and like touching your leg by accident, like oh my goodness, like it's itching again. Anyway, and I'd be in bed, just like don't touch, like don't give in, like work on your discipline, and realizing very, very clearly that what I needed was that stillness, right? I just have to wait it out, just be still, like don't do anything. And realizing that not every situation in life just, goes by and gets resolved by doing nothing. I think that's maybe rare, but how much sometimes that stillness is needed. One thing, how much it's needed, and then seeing what comes up, right? So if I'm a bit more still, what is it, right? Because something's gonna come up, something in the shape of a whisper. And I think oftentimes it's wrapped in more honesty, right? When we're a bit more still. And my personal story, what came out of that stillness was an admission to myself that, which is something rather obvious, but when you admit something to yourself and like your shoulders drop and it feels whatever it is, but like it feels right, and for me it was that, the past years have been horrible. They have been soul crushing. They have been just, a world was collapsing the whole time because of what's happening in the world, right? Because at the same time, there's so much joy, so much happiness, so much excitement in my life, like in my life itself. And, right? There's that river of sorrow, river of grief that's always there. That's always there. Like it's always there. And sometimes it's just like a question, like of a nicely asked with curiosity, like, how have you been really? Like one question is enough. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to unleash it onto you. So for me, it was that admission that of course, how could there be little grief or no sorrow? And for me specifically, it's witnessing the destruction of Palestine, obviously. Something I talk about here in Investigative Selfism and in The Exploding Head, my other political project. So it became very clear. I'm like, yeah, it's been very tough. And no matter how much I do, what I do, how much I try to outrun it, I cannot. So the question for me is, can I form a healthier relationship to that sorrow? Can I be more honest with myself and others about it? Can I be more honest about it? So I had these questions, had this realization that came out of stillness. And then my invitation would be, can we sit with that stillness? Can we create space for that stillness? Can we create space for really checking in? One, can we create that space? Can we listen then to what that silence, what that calm is telling us? And then what do we do with it? Not to get it resolved, not to get rid of it, but like what's needed to hold it with compassion, to wrap it in something that's more meaningful and just healthier for us without rejecting it, right? It's like, we need to integrate that too. So that became very clear. So these are my questions, my invitations, which sounds very much like an end of year message. And I think it kind of is. It's appropriate. And then very recently I had this reminder in a way. I started this year, I think it was like the first days of the year. I was in Oaxaca, Mexico. Kind of doesn't matter, but it has beautiful graffiti. It's like the street art is amazing there. And I was on a graffiti tour, and then it wasn't part of the tour, but I saw this graffiti like somewhere like close to the tour. I'm like, oh, what is this? And it had I'm gonna add it here. It had a drawing of a heart and a phrase, and it was a very simple phrase. It said, "Let everything burn, but for your desire to fight." And I understand it sounds better in Spanish, actually. Anyways, and I was like, yes, this, oh my goodness, like I posted about it. I'm like, what a lovely metaphor, like this is amazing. And I stand by it. And as the year is ending and a lot is coming up for me, and I know for many, just from the people I talk to, I'm like, things are coming up, aren't they? And I realized that, wow, I love the metaphor. I love the visual. Yes. Sounds fierce. But I didn't understand what the sensation would entail. And now, as the year is ending, and I'm like, I need to give words to the sensation. And this thought came of, I feel like things are burning. There are at least 3 fires one of sorrow and grief, one of anger, and one of rage. I'm like, I feel like there are 2, like rage and anger. I'm going to separate them and think that both of them are burning. And why would I have thought that things burning away would be a pleasant sensation? With all the coolness of like, it sounds cool, but like, why would I think that, And I'm like, all this discomfort, all this like, ugh, can say, oh, it's the year of the snake. It's like snake shedding, it's old skin, like whatever metaphor, you want to use. But like, but with the fire, like, why would I think that it's pleasant or easy or comfortable? And there is a saying, there is a quote from someone, don't be afraid of the fire. It can only burn what you are not. So I will combine all of my previous talks about fire with this one. And I will say that if you feel like an old world is dying and a new one is being born, like spiritually, geopolitically in some ways, right? Just like that, if that's the sensation that you have, or if it's just, not easy, if the year is not ending on some like light and comfortable note, why not to use some metaphors that also hold this process with self-compassion, or help us hold this process with self-compassion. If something is trying to come up, if something is, trying to emerge, and other things that are not necessary are burning away, then it's not going to be pleasant, then it's not going to be easy, but maybe it's necessary. So I know for many, this year has not been easy in many respects, right? We can talk about what's happening in the world. And if you're aware, my goodness, what a year. Maybe something's happening in your personal life, right? Various contexts. But maybe this resonates. Maybe this is something that you will find some benefit in hearing, and maybe even sharing, who knows. So yeah, can we be more honest? Can we create that space for stillness? Can we listen to what that stillness says? And then can we not necessarily like analyze it, like be in our heads and like, what's up? But can we truly hold it, right? Whatever comes up, and especially if it's not a pleasant sensation. Hey, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.